the next step is that you want to manage your articles or the sources that you've been able to identify. And one way to do that is you can add your sources or your articles to your Microsoft Word document. This will help when you're writing and you need to cite or to generate a reference list. So in this session, I would show you how to add articles to references in Microsoft Word so you can use them for in-text citation and generate reference lists once you've finished writing your guideline. So let's see how that. So if you have your Microsoft Word document, on the ribbons at the top, if you click on references, you would have the citation and the bibliography section. In the bibliography and citation section, please click on the drop down menu there, insert citation, and you will see the option to add a new source. When you click on that, you have options, different types of sources or articles you can add, books, reports, website. But for this session, we'll be adding the journal article. So we'll click on that. You can either add a corporate author or individual authors. So I'll click on edit to add individual authors. And to add individual authors, you can put their surname and the first name, as many authors that are listed on that article you're adding. But for today's demonstration, I have just two authors listed on my article. So I've added both and then click OK. Then you had the title of the article. If you had the title of the article, the journal where the article was published, you had that to it, the year of publication, 2025. Where you can also add the pages. So I have 64926. Okay, you can also click on the show all bibliography field to see more fields that are available, but the mandatory ones are the ones that are starred. So I have more details. I have the volume number and the issue number. So I've added those. If you also have the DOI of the article, you can add that to it. So I'm going to add the DOI of this article, and that is added. If you come back to the list here, you'll see that I now have that article added to my Microsoft Word, and when I'm citing, I can cite it or use it when I'm writing. You can repeat this process and add multiple articles, but if you wish to add multiple articles at the same time, there is the Mendeley site which is embedded in Microsoft Word across the trust computer systems. So you can, for you to be able to add sources to Mendeley, the first thing is you must go into Mendeley website. If on in the Mendeley website, you need to sign in with your Open Athens details. So ensure you're mapped to Blackpool Teaching Hospital and access through your organization. If you click on access through your organization, it will authenticate using the Open Athens detail. Then you would see that showing that you've logged in. So you can navigate to my library. In my library, you can create a collection for the policy you're writing. So for me, I'm writing the policy on sepsis in children. So I've created that collection, and then I can add articles to the collection. So there are four ways of adding articles or publication to your collection. You can add manually, just like we did in Microsoft Word. You put in details of each of the articles. So that's the first way. The other way is to import from library. So you can import the RIS file. For example, the one we downloaded from Trip, you can import it here. And if you had multiple articles selected in your database, it will all be added here. You can also import a folder, or you can import a file from a folder. So we'll start with importing the RIS file. So if we click on that, if we click on import RIS, so I have a folder where I have saved the RIS file. So if I click on that and click on open, so you can see it has added 4 articles that I selected. So if I select all those articles, I'm able to copy them and put them in the folder. Next, the other option is to import a file from a folder. So if you have PDF, full text PDF document, you can select that and add it to your folder. So I'm going to select this one. I need to unselect the other ones, and then move that to my collection. And lastly, I can upload an entire folder. So I can go into my Microsoft Word and then select the folder and then upload. So if we do that, it's going to upload 4 files. So usually when there is a duplicate, you would get the message and you are able to um, review the duplicates and take actions as appropriate. So I have my articles added. One thing to note is that when you have your articles added, please ensure that you have the details of the articles complete. So, for example, this was written by Nice, so you might want to put Nice as the author there, so that when you use that the article, when you cite it, it has the appropriate information. So you can put in details if you have more details. So back to Microsoft Word. In Microsoft Word, you're able to now use Mendeley Site. So if you click on Mendeley Site, the first thing to do here is to ensure that you've synchronized. First, ensure that you've synchronized your um, folders so that all the new folders you have added will show in Mendeley. So if you select the folder you're working with, you can also go to the citation settings and select an appropriate citation style. So depending on what the citation style is, you can select that. So for this demonstration, I'll be using APA style. So back to references. So if you look at the content of your work, if you have used, for example, you've used this idea was from this, ensure that your cursor is there, click on that and click on insert citation. So you see that that has been inserted for you. If you also have another from, let's say, management of neonates, you have that inserted for you. And let's say this is from Nice. If you insert, and you have that inserted. So now the next process is to add the reference list. And for you to add the reference list, if you put your cursor where you want the reference list to be added, you can then go to the 3 dots and click on insert bibliography. And if you click on that continue, you would see a list of all the references that has been added or used or cited in this work. So that's how to add a source and how to do in-text citation and generate a reference list using your Microsoft Word. Thank you for listening. I'll be happy to take any questions in the chat or during the question and answer session. Thank you.